Welcome to the Together with Regard for LGBTQI Pride Month Cabaret. I'm Ju Gosling, also known as Ju90. I'm a 61-year-old white woman with pale olive skin and green eyes behind black plastic glasses. I have hennaed cropped hair under a purple trilby hat. I'm wearing a purple t-shirt that says "All you need is love" and silver-coloured jewellery. I'm sitting in front of a pink virtual background with the Pride Progress flag in the top left-hand corner. I'm the artistic director of Together 2012 CIC, and I'm also a co-chair of Regard, and I'm going to be introducing tonight's acts. We've put the website addresses for Regard and for Together 2012 CIC into the chat box if you'd like to know more about the organisers. I've also put in my social media details, and I'm going to ask the artists to add theirs. If you'd like us to send these afterwards to you as one document, email info@together2012.org.uk or secretary@regard.org.uk. You can find those email addresses on our website. Tonight's cabaret has been funded by Arts Council England, and we'd like to thank them for their support. It's incredibly rare to find online Pride events, and even rarer to find any Pride events featuring disabled artists. So we're really grateful to Arts Council England for funding us to deliver online events for Pride Month and LGBT+ History Month for the next 3 years. We have 2 British Sign Language interpreters working tonight, Paul Michaels and Sarah Meeks, and English captions from Norma McKay of Global Real-Time Captioning. The interpreters will be spotlighted on screen. You can access the captions by clicking on the CC button, which you will either find at the bottom of your screen or under More, depending on your version of Zoom. Norma is also putting the link into the chat box if you'd rather stream the captions in a separate window. You can find the running order for tonight in the chat box. It's a cabaret, so come and go as you wish. We'll have a short comfort break after Claire Summerskill has performed, and we'll finish promptly at 9 o'clock. I hope you'll be able to stay till the end, but whenever you leave, it would be really helpful if you could fill in the short feedback form. You can find the link in the chat box, and it will also come up on screen when you go. Now, I'd like to introduce poet D.L. Williams, whose pronouns are they and them.
Hello, my name is D.L. Williams, and I'm a deaf poet specialising, well, I use English and BSL, but at the moment I also have long COVID, the recent warm weather and everything is just, long story short, I've got no energy, so Paul over here is going to be signing BSL for me. And because he's being spotlighted, I can see everything he's doing, so no pressure, Paul. Or I might get some ideas from him for the interpretation. We'll see. I'll make notes maybe. So I'm a white woman. I don't want to mislead anyone, but I think I'm not bad looking, relatively cute. Short dark hair, sort of swept to the side at the minute. I've got bluishy, purpley, sort of rimmed glasses. And on one side you can see a hearing aid with a blue ear mode. Other side you can see a cochlear implant, also blue. And I'm wearing a t-shirt that has a sort of space design on it, and my background is also a space design, so you may be getting certain geeky vibes. And I also have a white cat who is currently dozing on my desk, who may pop his head up from time to time. I think that's everything. So I'm going to do 3 poems today. So my first poem is called My Sin. It's just it's just a riff on this whole confession thing. My sin. Right, Paul. Cool. I confess my sin. My sin is envy. Don't get me wrong, I wouldn't be anyone else. I'm quite happy. But once in a while, I get male envy. When they can just whip it out and pee where they like and reach the tallest shelves with their annoying height. Straight envy. When I see hetero couples walk down the street, hand in hand, doing little PDAs without a second thought. Is anyone looking? What's this area like? Can they tell we're both women? Is this a battle that needs to be fought? Able-bodied envy. Watching people skip across the road against the lights and prance up and down some steps without any fear of a rebellious knee or inner ear and falling down and breaking their necks. Hearing envy. They can do what they like, watch what they like, when they like. They don't get pushed aside or given filthy looks for ignoring excuse me's. They know the train is late or the gate has changed without even having to look. Muggle envy. No, this one's more about curiosity because I'm just not aware what it must be like to know a film has made a complete mess of a book and genuinely not care. So I thought that's a pretty good poem for what it's worth. My next poem is called No Longer an Impossible Dream, and it was originally printed in the Queer Disability Anthology, edited by Raymond Hushak years ago. And I wrote it in response to, well, at the time, legalisation of gay marriage in the UK. Yeah, because I never thought I would one day be able to marry a woman, and now I can. So here we go. Okay. Yeah. I want to be proposed to. I want to be swept away, like in those YouTube videos. There doesn't have to be a DJ or a marching band, and they don't necessarily have to learn to dance, so long as there's signs, big bits of paper, or a BSL song, or creative use of a jumbotron. But whatever they do, I want to be impressed and be overwhelmed with love as I tearfully say yes. My ring would be silver with Gallifreyan script, or notated signs, or inspired by thrones, or Discworld designed. No need for stones. Well, maybe something blue, a lazuli or two, and it would be a heart-melting gift. I would wear a suit or a shirt and boards. I'd like to do it on a beach, preferably abroad, but nothing so soppy as an arch, especially not wrapped with roses. That would just be too much. Simple vows, nothing gushy. We'll have the poems for getting mushy. And the whole thing would be a bilingual treat. There'd be palm trees and a fresh breeze, white sands and turquoise seas, and just a few friends, and her and me. Thank you. And then the last one is it's called The Birds Are Tweeting Again. This one is inspired by my implant, which was put in February 2020, literally a week before they started cancelling non-essential surgery. So so one of the things I've discovered with the implant is birds actually make a lot of noise. I did not realise this. I'd heard about it, I'd read it on the captions, but you know, birds tweeting on the captions and like, oh okay, cool. But now I know. So yeah, this poem is dedicated to those birds. All right. The birds are tweeting again. Not clickbait, fake news tweets, but loud, piercing akakaks and cheap trip cheeps and da-da-dums and trolls as harsh as the most ignorant and hate-filled tweets. When hearing people talk about what the deaf are missing, guaranteed they will mention birdsong. What a lie. Birds don't sing. Birdsong implies a melody, intent, cohesion, musical ability, an orchestra working together. Rather, the birds in my garden vociferously tweet over each other with as much fervour as a particularly hostile Twitter war. One that begins anew with each rising of the sun. What this lot need is a conductor. What I need is a gun. So, and that's me. So thank you everyone for your time, and thank you G for having me, and thank you Paul for your typing. All right, good evening.
Thank you, DL. That was great. Next, I'm delighted to introduce Vron McIntyre, a queer disabled poet whose pronouns are they and she.
Thank you very much. For the audio description, I'm a 62-year-old white non-binary person of female appearance with short dark hair, red glasses, wearing a sleeveless black top in front of a blurred background. The first poem I want to do tonight is a poem about my civil partner, Andrea. This is Peas. I love her idiosyncrasies. I love her skillful expertise, her unwavering desire for cheese, her logical analyses. I love her thank you and her please, the way her smile puts all at ease. I love her when she disagrees and how she never harbours fleas. I love the coolness of her breeze, her contemplation of the trees, her jam jar full of 20p's, the alignment of her vertices. I love the buzzing of her bees, the way she holds her bunch of keys. I love the way she puts on skis and how she swings on the trapeze, her knowledge of the 7 seas, her gazing at the Pleiades. I love that she's so fun to squeeze. And her origins from overseas, I envy her working knees. I even love her giant sneeze. I love the way she looks at me when she's microwaving peas. Thank you. So the next one is also about the two of us. I wrote this one 4 years ago, so the 13 years in the first line are now 17 years. This poem appeared in the Spirits of Fire and Dust anthology last year, and this is called The Dust of Us. After 13 years, love piles up in stacks on every available surface, accumulates like the fine dust on shelves, clumps together into fluff balls that lurk under beds, behind furniture, leaches into the fabric of things, leaks silently into the air we breathe, so that we're surrounded, no escape. Open a cupboard door and there it is, falling out, spilling all over the kitchen floor, dripping from the bathroom taps, spraying out from the shower every time it's turned on, drenching, cleansing, comforting, reinventing, producing ozone, oxytocin, laughter, bad puns. In the spare room, boxes full of our merriment are stacked, waiting for us to sort them out, to separate the mirth into meaningful categories, turn miscellaneous into properly filed away. But still it spills out, defeats attempts to be tidy, sensible. Turn your back and it'll be halfway across the floor before you know it, peering out of the window, making funny faces at next door's cat, howling at the moon, then collapsing in fits of giggles. Inconsolable happiness rings out of the comedy doorbell daily as I let you be you and you let me be me, surrounded by piles of unsorted love and evidence of our obsessions, ultralight hiking gear, art supplies, OS maps, poetry books sliding off untidy stacks, VW camper vanalia, the empty boxes I might decoupage one day, bits of old computers gathering the dust of us, accumulating, infusing, drawing everything together until it all feels whole and holy and like one long, unlooked for holiday. This next one I wrote a few months after the pandemic started, and it appeared in the anthology Geography is Irrelevant by Stairwell Press in 2021. This is called Another War. It can come as quite a shock to find you've joined the ranks of the expendable. Something you thought happened to other people, the feckless and the flawed, scroungers with the wrong attitude, bringing it on themselves. But there's room for thousands more on the roll call of the dead, detained, deported, left to depend on low wages and food banks, left to government-sanctioned starvation, left in a tower block to burn. You're just one of the herd, not a priority. Not just 3 pay packets from penury, but 3 risk factors from don't bother calling 999, or frontline troops once again sent in to fight another war with inadequate equipment, hailed as heroes as they fall prey to the priority of profit over people, the bitter twist of avoidable tragedy. This next one is for everyone who's still shielding, and it's called Still Shielding. Some of us are still shielding, can't afford to relax precautions and take the risks the rest of you are taking. Some of us are still shielding, still immunocompromised, still extremely vulnerable. Some of us are still shielding, despite vaccinations which reduce risk but don't stop COVID killing us. Some of us are still shielding, can't join in your mask-free, poorly ventilated group hugs. Some of us are still shielding. It was great when you visited our world, but now you don't need it anymore. You're off without a thought for those who can't follow you, or those whose chairs can't climb your stairs. Some of us are still shielding, and some of us are housebound anyway, reliant on technology for connection. So we listen to your poems about how wonderful it is to be present to one another in person, but wish you didn't feel the need to list all the deficiencies of the alternatives. Have a care for how you say you can't go on living like we do. If you think it's good enough for us, how come it's not good enough for you? The next poem, the title of this next poem was the most frequently spoken sentence during lockdown. So of course it's called You're on Mute. Cancelled people in the news, spouting all their cancelled views. Oh, no chance for any to refute. You've got no say because you're on mute. You might want to disagree, contribute to the repartee, but dissenting voices got the boot. No one hears because you're on mute. We've never heard so many lies. The paper's full of porky pies. Journalists of ill repute write what they like because you're on mute. Right-wing rampage in the press, berating people in distress. You might be articulate, astute, but you're left-wing, so you're on mute. The rich-poor split is widening faster. They think the poor should live on pasta. They pocket their ill-gotten loot, and you can't object because you're on mute. What shall we do with refugees? They say, let's ship them overseas, then back to their party for a toot. Your view's discarded. You're on mute. Divide and rule, LGBT, debate conversion therapy. Don't want them to electrocute, but you're queer and trans, so you're on mute. Vicious mediocrities passed laws that boost hostilities. It's fashionable to persecute, but you can't complain because you're on mute. Ignore important information. COVID has a new mutation. Policies do not compute, but you're at risk, so you're on mute. Now you can't vote without ID. Another disenfranchisee. As Tory trees bear rancid fruit, yet another way to be on mute. The grifters want to bleed us dry, put prices up to all-time highs. Their profits leave us destitute. Quids in for rats in business suits. Our liberties are closing down. In city, country, run down town. How long till jackboots and salutes? How long will we remain on mute? They say we should eat mouldy bread, face winter bills with mounting dreads. You might think we should reboot, but no one cares because you're on mute. How much more can people take from greedy bastards on the make? It's time to stand up and dispute their right to keep us all on mute. Fight for the right to disagree, for our bodily autonomy. Power should not be absolute. Must be their turn to be on mute. A week after the Club Q shooting in Colorado last year, I went to a poetry event on Zoom run by the queer poets of Colorado Springs. And this is what I wrote while I was there. This is called Q is for Queer. Finally, we are all crying. Tears unleashed by heartfelt words describing loss, grief, anger, renewed determination to live. This last week, I have barely spoken about the latest Colorado shooting, as if it were just too awful, too painful to mention, and I hesitated to join this gathering of queer poets, right at the heart of this blast of hatred and violence, wondering if I would feel strong enough. But here is all the love, all the vulnerability, all the belonging and the welcoming, all the care, all the understanding, people together in the face of tragedy, listening to personal memories of those who died, of people marking themselves safe on social media as if we're ever safe anymore. Tonight, we are present to each other, our ordinary lives, our social anxieties, our outrageous queerness, all three at once in all our glory. The people who aren't sure if they belong, who haven't found a way in yet, who stand outside looking in, longing for community, welcomed in as family. Despite the difficulties of connecting with each other for all sorts of reasons, we become each other's kin. You quote Audre Lorde telling us we were never meant to survive. And right now we feel it in our bones, the world around us rife with lies and hate. But look at us, blossoming, defiant in the face of hostile governments, standing up to shooters, to the people who want us gone, reclaiming what we have been told does not belong to us. Community, our place in the world, our bodies, our lives. Remember, we have always existed in every time and place. We can't be eradicated. No matter what, we will still keep popping up like mushrooms, like spring flowers, like hope. Thank you to everyone involved for inviting me to be part of this event. I'll finish with this one, which is dedicated to anyone who has an energy limiting chronic illness. This is called Borrowed from Tomorrow. I borrowed from tomorrow. Now tomorrow is today. I borrowed from tomorrow and now I have to pay. I did a bit of washing up. I tried to write some verse. I pushed on through my tiredness and now it's so much worse. I borrowed from tomorrow. Now tomorrow is today. I borrowed from tomorrow and now I have to pay. I did a bit of Zooming in an effort to connect. It was lovely at the time, but now I'm feeling really wrecked. I borrowed from tomorrow. Now tomorrow is today. I borrowed from tomorrow and now I have to pay. But this is my new normal. It's a challenge to be met. I might take my time adjusting, but I'm not defeated yet. I might borrow from tomorrow, get charged interest on my debt. I might borrow from tomorrow, but I'm not defeated yet. No, I'm not defeated yet. I'm not defeated yet. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much indeed, Vron. And no, we are not defeated yet, and we never will be. So next we have Claire Summerskill. Claire is a lesbian comedian and singer-songwriter, and currently she's touring her latest one-woman show, I've Been Claire Summerskill, to theatres around the country. Over to you, Claire.
Hello, everybody. Just to say what fantastic acts have been on before. Really enjoyed the poetry. I'm a 61-year-old woman. I've got short blondish hair, hasn't gone grey yet. And I'm wearing a light blue shirt. My background is that of my bedroom stroke study. I'm going to be singing 3 songs, and my guitar is out of shot. So this first one is about when it was the beginning of COVID, and it was quite interesting because a lot of people, especially during COVID, felt very, very sorry for those people who were living alone and thought they must have had a terrible time of it. And in fact, some people did. But when I spoke to some couples or some people who have been living with their family, they really envied the people who were living alone. So I guess it just depends on your perspective. A couple of friends of mine had to start working from home, so they were living in the same place and working in the same place. And I asked them if there'd been any tension, and they said there had been at first, but they'd come up with a solution. So I heard what the solution was, and I wrote a little song exaggerating it. When COVID came, we couldn't quite believe our luck. Not allowed to go to work, but we didn't give a monkey's. All the time in the world to spend with the woman of my dreams, who was my very best friend. But I can see that I was premature in celebrating, 'cause now we find each other somewhat irritating. She's talking on the phone when I am busy with Zoom, and it's clear we need an extra room. So we came up with a plan that I will share with you. When we're annoying one another, this is what we do. We use a safe word that we have learned by heart when we want to kill each other and just need some time apart. So she's getting on my tits and I can sense some tension, but now I have a way to make an intervention. I have to use the safe word that we both agreed to help us in this hour of need. But But I forgot the safe word, though I'd written it down. Forgot the safe word, can't remember it now. It's got a lowercase and uppercase if I'm not wrong, and a capital letter just to make it very strong. It's not my birth date, 'cause that's easy to guess. Is it my first pet? Now I'm getting distressed. My favourite teacher or mother's maiden name. I have so many partners and they mustn't be the same. So the moral of this song, well, it's plain to see. We'll go back. So when I need one very badly, and right now I do, I ask my girlfriend if she would give me a clue, but she ignores me and says she hasn't heard, 'cause I haven't used the right safe word. Well, she's finally stopped annoying me with things she said, and we had a lovely evening and then went to bed. We started fooling around in a naughty kind of way. We needed a release from the problems of the day. I was a little taken back when she produced a silk scarf. She said, oh, come along, we could both use a good laugh. She tied it round my eyes and we both agreed to say the safe word if there was a need. Well, you've probably already guessed what happened next. I started feeling like I didn't want this kind of sex, but all I had to do was say the safe word then. We could go back to vanilla again. But I forgot the safe word, although I'd written it down. Forgot the safe word, I can't remember it now. It's got a lowercase and uppercase if I'm not wrong, and a capital letter just to make it very strong. It's not my birthday, 'cause that's easy to guess. Is it my first pet? Now I'm getting distressed. My favourite teacher or mother's maiden name. I have so many passwords and they mustn't be the same. So the moral of this song, well, it's plain to see. If you have to choose a safe word, do it very carefully. Pick one that you'll remember that is quite mundane. I suggest your first and second name. So this next song is about what we call ourselves, and I know at the moment we're in the middle of lots and lots and lots of new words being invented to describe our attractions and our identities, and it's a very exciting time. But going back to the umbrella terms, some people, including myself, not very keen on the word queer. Obviously, the recent history of that word was in the 1990s when some gay men decided to reclaim the word queer. Having heard it only as an insult, they decided it was their right to reclaim it. Lesbians didn't feel quite the same way about reclaiming some of the words that they'd been called as insults. Phrases like big, fat, hairy leather just didn't have the same sort of impact. And if we had wanted to use that word and reclaim it, we wouldn't have used it as an umbrella term. So I think for queer as an umbrella term doesn't work for me. I think we should stick to the word brolly as an umbrella term. But anyway, so this is a song about the acronym. When I was just 15 years old, I knew I wasn't like the other girls. They all agreed that I might be a dyke. They didn't mind a bit, in fact they thought it pretty cool to hang out with a bona fide lesbian at school. I found a pretty girlfriend at my netball club in town. She played a bit defensive, but quite soon I wore her down. I knew the time had come to tell my mum I felt this way, so I mustered up my courage and I told her I was gay. But she said, you can't tell me that you're simply gay. I saw a documentary about this yesterday. If you love other women, then that's what you're bound to do. But the official definition, Claire, is LGBTQ. LGBT questioning today. How can I be all of those, and does it work this way? LGBT questioning within. I cannot be an unpronounceable acronym. I'm moved away to college, living in a student flat. The landlady came round one day and we began to chat. She looked a little on the butch side as she checked the thermostat, but she mentioned she was married, so I thought that that was that. Then she said she felt a little tired and which one was my room. This surely must be flirting, but it's best to not assume. I knew the time had come to say I swung a certain way, so I mustered up my courage and I told her I was gay. But she said, you can't tell me that you're simply gay. I work in local government, we did a training day. I know what I got when I met you. You're a gay, a bi, a queer, a trans, you're LGBTQ. LGBT questioning today. How can I be all of those, and does it work this way? LGBT questioning within. I cannot be an unpronounceable acronym. One day I went to buy a car, just second-hand, not new. The guy there at the garage took me round to see a few. I settled on a Honda, but as I began to pay, he asked me if my husband knew I'd spent his cash this way. Well, I was spitting furious, but just before I spoke, he grinned and said, I'm sorry, that was meant to be a joke. I often tease my sister and she looks a lot like you, so I guess that you were LGBTQIAP2. LGBTQ I now can see is far too many letters to describe the likes of me. And if queer is not a term I really like, then I'm left back where I was at 15, pleased to be a dyke. So this last song is one from my stage show that I'm performing at the moment, sort of. Well, I've got 2 more shows left in the autumn. And it comes right at the end of the song, of the show. And the whole show is basically meant to be looking over my life, my adult life, as what I call a professional lesbian. And so the song at the end tries to sum up all those years, all those decades, and it raises the question of how I got to where I am now and why I'm still single. So there might be bits in the song that you might relate to yourself. Just want to warn you as well that this song contains traces of whistling. So here I am again, my heart's been trampled through the dirt. She left me with a mortgage and a Kindle I can't work, and I'm wondering if it's possible to find another soul that I can settle down with. Now I'm on the way to being kind of old. It won't be easy to find somebody who could please me. Now I'm reminiscing about the deep and distant past, when lovers called from phone boxes and printers used to last. How I loved my time at uni, and because my fees were paid, I did the odd tutorial, but mainly spent my time there getting laid. And it was easy to find somebody who would squeeze me. Then in my early 20s I moved to London town and discovered all the bars and clubs where lesbians could be found. And I slept with everyone I met and never stopped to think that my romantic choices were mainly influenced by drugs and drink. And it was easy, some might call it sleazy, but I never thought I'd ever see the day not be that into them, and they might not be right for me. In my 30s and my 40s I became less rabbit-like and had some long relationships with halfway decent dykes. You know when I say long, I mean for more than just a week, 'cause there was just so many lesbians with whom I felt I was compelled to sleep. I finally found the woman of my dreams and we got hitched, but after 13 quite unlucky years I finally was ditched. My friends all tell me that there's someone out there for me still, but I'm bitter now and twisted, and quite frankly I'm not sure I've got the will. It won't be easy to find somebody who could please me. I never thought I'd ever see the day when I'd worry that another girl might never come my way. It's quality, not quantity, I'm looking for now, that's plain. I've slept with one too many weirdos, now I'd quite like someone sane. And if I were to find someone I thought might have potential, they couldn't move right in, an internship would be essential. A meeting of two minds might be a better way to go, 'cause since my menopause and knee replacement, my libido's kind of low. I might disturb them in the night when I get up to pee, and I've got a weighted blanket for my deep anxiety, and I have to wear my earplugs and a mask to block the light, and I've just found out that red wine causes heartburn, so I'm changing now to white. It's kind of tricky when you're so picky, but I never thought I'd ever see the day when I think that being single was a thing that felt okay. There's still as many gorgeous women out there all alone as there were all those years ago when I just had to take them home. But now I've finally reached the stage, it's come with wisdom and with age. I didn't know that I could be so happy in my own good company. Thanks very much. Have a great evening.
Next up is writer, poet and activist Jamie Hale, and Jamie has pre-recorded their performance.
Hi, I'm Jamie Hale. For a visual description, I am white, I have dark red hair and a ginger beard, I am wearing a black headset, I'm wearing a red t-shirt, and rather than my usual wheelchair, I'm in a white seat with a grey headrest. I'm going to start by performing a blackout poem called A Queer Reading Walt Whitman to the Rhythm of a Ventilator Breathing for Them. I won't be visible during this poem. What will be visible instead is a screen with text appearing. As I speak, and the ventilator cuts me out, blackout poetry will be created on the text. Whoever degrades another degrades me, and whatever is done or said returns. Surging through me, the current and index, I speak the password. I will accept nothing which all cannot have their counterpart of on the same terms through me, many long dumb voices of the diseased and despairing and of thieves and dwarfs, voices of cycles of preparation, of wombs and of the father stuff and of the rights of them the others are down upon, of the deformed, trivial, flat balls of dung through me, forbidden voices. So after that short recording, the first poem I'm going to read today, like all of my work, really explores where we've come from and where we're going as a community of queer disabled people. And it comes from a James Baldwin quote from an essay called A Letter from a Region in My Mind. I'll begin with the quote and go on to the poem. And I began to feel in the boys a curious, wary, bewildered despair, as though they were now setting in for the long, hard winter of life. I did not know then what it was that I was reacting to. I put it to myself that they were letting themselves go. And I began to feel. I had not felt before, not like this. A wave broke inside me, and desire was free to erupt, force itself onto my face. The world could see. I, urging my want to hide. In the boys, a curious, wary, bewildered despair. There is nothing here for us, only gardens with neat hedges against which I push and pushed, touch and touched, gilt blankets, numbness, fear, desire, as though they were now settling in for the long, hard winter of life. Come away with me. This is not for you. The soaring city calls to me. People like us are real, away from shame. Boys give desire its chance, can escape. I become a man elsewhere, together. I did not know then what it was that I was reacting to. No words for this feeling, except to ask, is it sin? I do not believe that this is sin, but guilty men build lies on lies. Do I do not wish lust to shake me, divide me. I put it to myself that they were letting themselves go, and in the city, choked with booze and drugs, men rubbing themselves together, wordless, the groping hands at bars, I had a choice, holding back or letting go, with love, desire, lust. And I wrote that piece thinking about what it means to want, and what it means to want things that you're forbidden from wanting. It's one of my favourite essays and one of my favourite quotes. And the next poem is in a very similar style. It's taken from the searing preface to a book of elegies titled Love Alone, which were written by Paul Manette after the death of his partner Roger to AIDS in 1986. It is the most powerful poetry collection I have ever read. Again, I'll begin with a quote and move into the poem. May it fuel the fire of those on the front lines who mean to prevail, and of their friends who stand in the fire with them. We will not be bowed down or erased by this. I learned too well what it means to be a people, learned in the joy of my best friend what all the meaningless horror cannot take away, that all there is love. Pity us not. May it fuel the fire, as if smoke could obscure, and ashes, though human and wood still differ, though a body weighs heavy in ashes, though they grind the skeleton down, though these words are fuel, though many fires, though we stand in those fires and burning. Of those on the front lines, as if sailors in sexy uniforms, as if this were a war, as if the enemy were not standing on the radio, blaming, blaming, blaming. Who mean to prevail? What does it mean to prevail? Darling, we all die anyway, but your words are the fragment that remains, speaks, your long silent body, and of their friends who stand in the fire with them. And we say friends as if we mean friends, we mean lovers, we mean family. In the fires we mean funerals and coffins back to ashes, 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 ashes. We will not be bowed down or erased by this. Like a tree, branches weighty with snow, footprints following as fast as you could tread, you are not gone. I learned too well. Many of us did. School the only way out, trade on brain, make the cutting remark first. If the bullies could laugh instead of punch, sometimes both. What it means to be a people is this, these little catching moments, is being here. Learned in the joy of my best friend, those secret words when I say friend, and you know, my little friend, my special friend, what all the meaningless horror cannot take away. I kiss your face, eyes stare past me, we are graves, or we have been, or we will be, but you have seen that all there is love. Us, here, this moment. Do not touch it, please. Pity us not. And one of the things I do is draw imaginary pasts, but also imaginary futures that explore what it is to be disabled, to be queer, and to be trans. The first of the next two pieces, Galahad, looks backwards to the AIDS crisis, and the second, The Fisher King, looks forward to an imagined future. Galahad, Los Angeles, 1985. And there, in the valley of death, in the forsaken Sodom of my people, the curse of our salt-slick pillars, I learned that all that is love alone. And I, the luckiest still alive to have felt this now, drenched, soaked in the light, him, Lance, his striking flesh, his bitter face, his inner warmth. I always knew myself second to none but her. His blazing desire for Guinevere, and me, his reckless poison. And I, young, eager, blooming with his love. I blossomed from his fierceness, these great wounds in the richest reds, roses formed of blood and buried deep beneath my skin. I learned what it is to love my brother, to nurse an endless cough late at night, to gaze at the waiting eyes of my friends and be a stranger. In those yearning moments, my lungs too growing pneumocystis, my endless pills, my Bactrim, my desire to be alive, I learned that I have only love, and that my brothers are all my people. My loves, if this is it, may some man in the future, holding hands with another like him, like Lance and I, see my grassy grave and say, there went men like us who loved, or is the future barren as the present, deep and empty, born with grace and left by death? In case you can't tell, These two pieces are both about Arthurian legend, and they come from a longer cycle I wrote as part of Bedtime Stories for the End of the World that places characters and myths from Arthurian legends at key points in history. But with the next one, The Fisher King, I'm not imagining a past, but a future. This boat replaced my legs long ago. I never leave the water now, though my oars are green with algae and thick slowly through the sludge. The fish I catch and eat, still raw and wriggling, are long and thin, more fragile bone than flesh. I choose to stay amidst the water, not return to shore. My wound, my body, my failing land, the acid rain has drained the trees and lakes. I will not be healed. My legs, my wound, watch me turn away Percival. His lance can make whole only me, but I am hurt as the land is hurting, and I would rather die as the land itself is dying. But come the Grail, and its devastation shall be healed. I shall stay like this from choice, but not be barren, bear daughters from my womb, my hidden wound, and live offshore, and over days the land itself regrows, refreshes. Friend, there will be a place where we can start again, my wound a badge, the land not sore but healing, our love not sore but healing. Please bring only the Holy Grail and yourself. Please come to me alone and let us heal the world. And I'm going to finish with a piece that again looks at the past, but also looks at who we are as a disabled community and as queer communities and as trans communities, and imagines and celebrates our survival and our knowledge that just as our ancestors survived, so will we. We have always been here. The 12 Tables, 450 BC. A dreadfully disabled child shall be swiftly killed. Let me tell you, people like us have always been here. Long before you had words for us, before our history books stop, before knowledge fades to be replaced with supposition, before we had words for ourselves, we've always had words for ourselves. 500,000 years ago, a fossil found in Cima de los Huesos, Cima of the Bones, where a child lived to 5, and maybe she was a mystic. Maybe she never spoke. Maybe that didn't matter. And maybe it did. Maybe we have always been here. 100,000 years ago, Shanidar was 12, buried with honour and the antlers of a deer, 6 years after his skull was caved in, 6 years of life in the heart of his community, 6 more years of promise. I tell you, we have always been here. This is not a story of the kindness of charity. It's a story of the value we bring. The Olmec worshipped us as gods, and we have always been here, not divine, but entirely human. 5,000 years ago, in Prague, someone died, was buried with jugs, a domestic touch usually only found with skeletons the archaeologists call female. Though, looking at skeletons, we're only guessing. Theorized as a transgender woman, and breaking news, we have always been here. 2,000 years ago, in ancient Greece, Ovid wrote of Canis, daughter of Atrax, hurt by Poseidon and determined never to face that again. He begged the gods to transform him into Ceneus. Stories are complicated, and Homer's Iliad called him one of the strongest men the earth has bred. We have always been here. I picture my ancestors. I dream of these ancestors coming towards me, arms open, the women who lived as men and men who lived as women, both and neither, and all my mad ancestors and my queer ancestors and my crippled ancestors, come to me. Bring your bones, your tired, aching bones. Offer them. Build shrines with your bones and we can worship them. Hold your ancestors. Tell them you lived and we live too. We have always been here. Our bones, our birthing, breaking, dying, forming, bending bones, our loving, healing, mending bones, building bones, creating bones. We have always been here. We will always be here. We are here.
Thank you, Jamie. Our next act will introduce themselves.
Hello, I am Will. I am Shakespeare. I am a 98% accurate reconstruction of William Shakespeare. Terms and conditions apply. Audio description. Though not human, I'm based on Leonardo's Vitruvian person, with the head of a blue-eyed, white-skinned god. I meant to look 60, but look at me. On gaydar, I'm 40, with a dad bod. My shoulder-length locks are strawberry blonde. I wear a white ruff around my white neck. The rest of my flesh is as green as a pond, except for my feet. Don't they look dainty? I'm forced to wear these for health and safety. Shakespeare's first folio was published 400 years ago this year. So 1623 Theatre has commissioned 30 artists to queer his plays. You can find out more about this new queer folio by following a couple of links Emily will pop in the chat for me now. Thank you. Norfolk-based poet, artist and performer Vince Laws, he, him, who looks rather like me without the hair, is developing a very queer King Lear. In a very queer King Lear, an astonishing avatar of Shakespeare, that's me, Will I am Shakespeare, combines the latest, the very latest in artificial intelligence, augmented reality, and the brand new science of ancestor DNA reconstruction. 98% accurate, terms and conditions apply. I take a theatre full of people back to 1606 to watch the very first performance of King Lear. King Lear is driving himself mad by denying his sexuality. Former Prime Minister Boris Piffle Johnson also travels back to 1606 to gain insights for his brand new book, Improving Shakespeare. Boris Piffle Johnson announces there is one guideline. People from 2023 must not interact in any way with people from 1606. The consequences could be deadly. However, Boris immediately breaks that guideline when he starts playing King Lear's fool, which snags the time-space fabric. And as a result, King Lear's children end up on Gogglebox, The Apprentice, Family Fortunes, Drag Race, and finally, The Jeremy Vile Show. We're now going to watch this exclusive clip in which Vince Laws plays all the characters. Way-I pet. In the week, Boris Piffle Johnson travelled back to 1606, King Lear held his big ball, and a horse in Great Yarmouth perfected the can-can. Viewers had a lot to talk about on Gogglebox. In Norwich Castle, siblings Goneril, Regan, and Elia. Start the film, please. It's got my name on it, my dead name. We all have our names on. Daddy insisted. He's paying for it all, so people know how important we are. I'd rather wear nothing Don't be silly, it's the annual ball. Just wear the outfit, smile, keep Daddy happy, then we can all have fun afterwards. Megan, what's Goneril wearing? I can't believe I'm in lemon. Goneril's in strawberry. Aren't you, Goneril? She'll be down in a minute. But she's in strawberry. You're in orange and I'm in lemon. What are we, the Starburst sisters? Ta-da! What do you think? Oh my God! Come back. Oh, Goneril, that's very eye-catching. You've got eyes on your breasts. Eyes are in this season. This is all the rage in Suffolk. Why am I not surprised? What are we watching? It's that thing where they've sent Boris back to 1606. He can't help himself. He has to be the centre of attention. Meantime, we shall express our darker purpose. Give me the map there. The map for the map. Did you want this, Your Majesty? Do I know you, fool? Are you a player? I am a bit of a thespian, Your Majesty. My bottom was the talk of Cambridge. Was it indeed? No, we have divided in three our kingdom, and... What? He can't do that! It's my kingdom! Result! And 'tis our fast intent to shake all cares and business from our age, conferring them on younger strengths, while we, unburdened, crawl towards death. Oh, for goodness sake, cheer up! This is meant to be a party! Our son of Cornwall, and you are no less loving son of Albany. We have this our constant will to publish our daughter's several dowers, that future strife may be prevented now. Are you having a laugh? The Princes France and Burgundy, great rivals in our youngest daughter's love, long in our court have made their amorous sojourn, and here are to be answered. Tell me, my daughters, since now we shall divest us both of rule, interest of territory, cares of state, which of you, shall we say, does love us most? Me, Daddy, I do. That we our largest bounty may extend, where nature does with merit challenge. Goneril, our eldest born, speak first. Sir, I love you more than words can wield the matter, dearer than eyesight, space and liberty, beyond what can be valued rich or rare, no less than life. With grace, health, beauty, honour, as much as child e'er loved or father found, a love that makes breath poor and speech unable, beyond all manner of so much, I love you. Of all these bounds, even from this line to this,
with shadowy forests and with champagnes riched, with plenteous rivers and wide-skirted meads we make thee lady. To thine and Albany's issue be this perpetual. What says our second daughter, our dearest Regan, wife to Cornwall? Speak. Oh, this should be good. Spoiler alert, brass neck. Sir, I am made of the self-same metal as my sister is, and prize me at her worth. In my true heart, I find she names my very deed of love. Only she comes too short that I profess myself an enemy to all other joys which the most precious square of sense possesses. Are you on drugs? And find I am alone felicitate in your dear highness's love. To thee and thine hereditary ever remain this ample third of our fair kingdom, no less in space, validity, and pleasure than that conferred on Goneril. Now, our joy. Although the last, not least. To whose young love the vines of France and milk of Burgundy strive to be interest. What can you say to draw a third more opulent than your sisters? Speak. Nothing, my lord. Yet nothing compares to you. Nothing? Nothing. Nothing shall come of nothing. Speak again. Unhappy that I am, I cannot heave my heart into my mouth. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, King Lear. I love your majesty according to my bond. No more, no less. How, Cordelia, mend your speech a little, lest it may mar your fortunes. Elia. My name's Elia now. How many times I refuse to conform to your stupid norms. Is this a cake slice I see before me? Good, my lord, you have begot me, bred me, loved me. I return those duties as are right fit. Obey you, love you, and most honour you. Why do my sisters have husbands if they say they love you all? Haply when I shall wed, that lord, whose hand must take my plight, shall carry half my love with him, half my care and duty. Sure I shall never marry like my sisters, to love my father all. But goes thy heart with this? Ay, good my lord. So young and so untender. So young, my lord, and true. Let it be so. Thy truth, then, be thy dower, for by the sacred radiance of the sun, the mysteries of Hecate and the night, by all the operation of the orbs, from whom we do exist and cease to be, here I disclaim all my parental care, propinquity and property of blood, and as a stranger to my heart and me, hold thee from this forever. Go to your room. Whatever. Turn that off. The party's over. Go home, all of you.
Finally, I'd like to introduce activist and musician Dennis Queen.
Hi there. Thanks, Dennis. I am a white, non-binary person with a with a little pale blue and brown cliff and glasses. And I've got my guitar and a strap, and my strap says, "Police line, do not cross," which seems fair. And the first song that I've got for you is called Come Here. Got a little story to tell you, just some stories about me, about you. I've got some questions about what to do, and a few ideas you can use from our people fighting on the fringe, banging doors, shouting let us in. To our people stuck inside, we can help you out if you dare to try. Come here, come and see, come and feel, oh come and be. Come and hear, come and see, come and do, oh come with me. Gotta stop taking all the blame. Gonna stop hanging our heads in shame. We're gonna start learning how to say no. We're gonna start making some space of our own. This world changes every day. We all take part. How did you join in today? How we gonna change it our way? We all know something, and we all have a place. Come here, come and see, come and feel, whoa, come and be. Come and hear, come and see, come and do, whoa, come with me. So what's your story? What can you do? What's your interest? What do you know? We've all got something no one else can do. Well, I've got this, so let's see yours too. Come here, come and see, come and feel, whoa, come and be. Come and hear, come and see, come and do, whoa, come with me. Come here, oh, come and see, come feel, come and be. Come here, oh, come and see, come and do, whoa, come with me. Come with me, oh, come with me. So I'm going to drop in next to Johnny Crescendo number. I'm going to play slightly shortened versions of the next two tracks, so then we can finish in plenty of time. And this first one is a Johnny Crescendo number called Not Dead Yet. I'm reading tabloids of fear and passion round a funeral pyre. Social worker says I qualify if I expire. The insurance man is heading his pets. My family's gathering around my bed. I'm lying at the gates of heaven, I'm not dead yet. Doctor's coming in with pills like a graveyard junkie. There's a nurse dressed in black who says assisted suicide is funky. My mother and father know what's best. They're gonna kick Joey out of the nest. Lying at the gates of heaven, I'm not dead yet. Artificial life, costly compassion, tube force feeding, audience reaction, quality of life versus life support. Vegetate, vegetative, vegetable, spare your lover. The man in the next bed has got a limp dick. He says if I can't masturbate, get me a hat saying kill me quick. His sexual perversion is killing me. He's gotta get a grip of responsibility. Lying at the gates of heaven, I'm not dead yet. Artificial life, costly compassion, tube force feeding, audience reaction, quality of life versus life support. Vegetate, vegetative, vegetable, spare your lover. The pearly gates are ramped, I know I've just been there. I was kind of a Macy St. Peter roll up in a wheelchair, yeah. I said, hey Pete, I wanna go back. He said, go and give shit to Dr. Quack. Lying at the gates of heaven, I'm not dead yet. Not dead yet. Not dead yet. Lying at the gates of heaven. Lying at the gates of heaven. I'm lying at the gates of heaven, but I'm not dead yet. So I hope you liked that. I can't see you, so hopefully we'll find out later how we did with that. And so for this last number, I have borrowed. Well, you could call it a collaboration, but it's only collaboration in the way that when you stitch something on Twitter, it's a collaboration. So, like the Beatles wrote the music for this one. Well, they would have done if I was playing it any better than I am. And we put some different lyrics to it. And this song is about using the bathroom and being trans, and a little bit in there about using the bathroom, being trans, and also needing an accessible bathroom. I hope you like it. And if you can figure out the chorus, because it's not that hard, please feel to be joining in at home. Feel free to be joining in at home, rather. When we find ourselves with a full bladder, more stress is not what we need. Just a nice clean bathroom, let us pee. Not endless hours of hell, having to hold on to find one free. There must be an answer, let us pee. 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 There must be an answer, let us pee. If we find ourselves cut short in public, it could be solved easily. If folks would mind their business and just let us pee. Yes, we know where we're urinating. Why don't you mind your own pee? Stop gender policing and let us pee. Let us pee. Let us
Well, I am really sorry to say that we have lost Dennis there, but that track is on YouTube, and I will make sure that we put the URL, the address out in the morning. So really sorry about that, but as it's after 9 o'clock, I'd better finish by thanking the artists, D.L. Williams, Ron McIntyre, Claire Summerskill, Vince Laws, Jamie Hale, and last but by no means least, Mix Dennis Queen. I'd also like to thank our interpreters, Paul Michaels and Sarah Meeks, our captioner, Norma McKay from Global Real-Time Captioning, my assistant, Emily Welsh, who's been doing most of the Zoom magic, our funders, Arts Council England, and all of you for coming tonight. I hope you've enjoyed tonight and enjoy the rest of Pride Month. So good evening, happy Pride.